We love music. You are locked into Six Towns Radio.
Hello, Mark Wynter. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Terry. Good to be on your air.
I know, yes. It's exciting times. Let's talk Dreamboats and Petticoats. It comes to the Regent on the 14th of October. Are you excited to come back to Stoke-on-Trent?
Yeah, what a lovely theatre. Aren't you lucky to have that theatre there? That's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely lovely. You were there a couple of years ago in Agatha Christie's Verdict, if I remember rightly.
That's right, we were, yeah. The last time I was there with a musical was with Crazy for You back in 2004, the George Gershwin musical.
Yeah, so it's exciting to bring this musical up to Hanley. Tell us a little bit about it from your point of view.
Well, it's as you... have you seen it before? Because it's been around for a couple of years, as you probably know.
Yeah, I've seen it before, yeah.
Well, it's set in the youth club, of course, and I play Phil Croft, who is the father who runs the youth club and who has a son who's an aspiring singer-songwriter, Bobby, and, gets himself in hot water by falling for the wrong girl, as, we often did when we were younger.
Yeah.
But it all sorts itself out eventually, and the show has such great ingredients of feeling good and uplifting and everything, and of course the songs have stood the test of time, and it's really great fun for me to be back singing these songs again, because, I never thought that I would ever be singing them 40 years down the line. It's extraordinary, really. But Bill Kenwright, our erstwhile, encyclopedic music producer, came to me last November and said, well, I'd like to go into the show that he was putting back into London, because it had been in London before, for 10 weeks only at Wyndham's Theatre at Leicester Square. And I thought, yeah, Leicester Square, Christmas, Wyndham's, lovely theatre. I played there many years ago in Side by Side by Sondheim. I thought, yeah, I'd love that. Anyway, I did it, and it was packed. And the cast was so enthusiastic and so full of energy and so talented. It was uplifting for me as well to be back, doing a show like this.
Yeah, definitely. The songs, they have stood the test of time, and you can't hold the good song back, can you, Mark?
Well, I think, the songs of those days, they were fairly basically constructed. I mean, they weren't complicated. Lyrically, they had a basic sort of essence, which was boy, girl, fall in love, which, let's face it, is the sort of whole hub of mankind, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get together with a partner, enjoy yourself, maybe have children or not, I mean, that's the sort of essence of life, really. And those songs, boy, girl, romance, or fun, or things like The Wanderer, where you had, it's about a guy who goes around with lots of different girls till he finds the right one, I mean, they were very simplistic, but I think because of that, people latched onto them and they remember them. Nowadays, I do think songs get a little bit too complicated sometimes. Some of the lyrics about certain things. I don't know. I went to the checkout. I checked you out. I bought half a pound of butter. Now I think I love you. That sort of thing.
I think people are running out of things to sing about, probably. But you had 9 top 20 hits. Yeah. Which one would you say was your favourite, or is it too difficult to pick one?
It's difficult to pick my favourite. I mean, Venus in Blue Jeans was my most successful record, and I do think it's quite a clever song, because it's a bit like sort of pop poetry, isn't it? Mona Lisa with a ponytail. I mean, who would ever have thought about that as a symbolism? And, they say there's 7 wonders in the world. Well, I just met number. I mean, very clever as a song. If you ask me whether it's my actual favourite song per se, I'd say probably not. I think my favourite song was one I recorded as a B-side, which was a Burt Bacharach number called Another Tear Falls.
Yeah.
I recorded it, and it came out as a B-side on one of my other records. And then about 3 years later, Scott Walker put it out as an A-side, and it was a big hit.
Yeah.
so I was seething. I said to Tony Hatch, my record producer, I said, Tony, I told you we should have put this out as an A-side. It's a great song. But of course, at that time, the kind of things that I was selling were boy-girl romance songs, and I think Tony felt that Another Tear Falls was a little bit too on the sad side for possibly my fans to go for at the time, and maybe he may have been right.
Well, we'll never know. But it's fair to say that musical theatre is in the blood. You've got family following in your footsteps, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, all my children are music scholars. My eldest son, who's 26, is a composer and is teaching piano as well at the moment at the International School in Cape Town in South Africa, and also writing the documentary music for a wildlife series out there. My daughter, actually, only this Sunday, just gone. I hurtled down from Wolverhampton on Saturday night to drive her to Heathrow on Sunday, and she's gone off to teach music, violin and piano in Singapore for 2 years at a music school. And our youngest son, he's taking a gap year now. He's just finished school, going to uni next year, but he plays trumpet and piano at a very high level, and he will be in the music business of some kind. Hopefully. I mean, it's the media is a very difficult area to get into. You know, I mean, it's not just whether you have abilities or not. It's a zillion other ingredients which it doesn't pay you to try and analyze. It's one of those things. You know, you're either lucky and you can get in, and you audition for the right people, or somebody sees you or hears you or whatever. You know, as with Jamie Callum, and he'd have seen in the pub, wasn't he, playing piano in a pub, I believe?
Yeah.
And he'd been knocking around playing in pubs and been to music college, and then suddenly he was spotted by somebody, and bingo, you know. I think a similar thing happened to Elton John initially. He was playing around and dropped out of music college, the Royal Academy, and was playing around in pubs and things with a different band, and then he was seen by Dick James, the music publisher, who you may recall used to be a singer, actually. When I was a kid, he was a singer. He sang the original Robin Hood TV theme on television. Anyway, he became a very successful music publisher, and he saw Elton John and gave him carte blanche to use a studio, and the rest is big history.
Yeah, that's
so you never know. It's a bit hit and miss, you know. Hopefully, there are lots of people in this business that fall by the wayside, of course.
Yeah.
In the music business, because talent is a bit of it's something rather special. You can work your socks off becoming brilliant, and not get any action. I mean, Van Gogh eventually cut his ear off and then shot himself. Because he couldn't sell any paintings, you know. And then after he died, everyone said, "God, this man was a genius. What was wrong with us? Why didn't we recognize that?" So, you know, it's a very it's not an easy thing to define as to whether you're going to be successful in the music business.
I know, it says dog eat dog as well, because so many people out there trying to get that fame and
success. There's so many talented people. I mean, there is so much. I mean, the kids in this show, in Dreamboats and Petticoats, are so talented. They play, I mean, all of them play at least one instrument. Some of them play 3 instruments because they all cover each other. You know, the whole show is live. There's no recorded music at all. Everything's live, from an instrument playing to the singing of the backing vocals and the solo songs and the dancing. Everything is live. There's nothing on click track or tape at all. And they're so talented. They've all come from, music school, stage school, and whatever. And they were selected very carefully, A, because of their abilities, and secondly, because of their characters, to be able to portray what is depicted within the script.
It makes the show better, when people go there, they're getting added value, aren't they?
Well, people can identify with the characters. I mean, the older people identify with them because it reminds them very much of when they were younger. And all the young people we get coming to the show, that they can identify with them as they are today.
Yeah.
The big difference is that, unfortunately, we don't have youth clubs today, so young people can't get that same sense of belonging that I had when I used to go to 2 or 3 youth clubs when I was a teenager, which was wonderful. I loved it. They were the highlights of my week. On the evenings, I would go to these youth clubs. I used to spend about 4 nights a week going to them, and it was fantastic. It was a place where you grew up, and you had fun. All your friends were there and everything. Nowadays, I don't know. I mean, I've been to a couple of clubs, but, you can't hear yourself think, and you can't see anybody.
More people meet online nowadays. Yeah, staying in, and you're going out.
Well, I don't know. I think that's so impersonal. That's what's wrong with it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because people don't have a one-to-one, personal, face-to-face communication. I mean, I'm not a fan of doing all that stuff online. I think it's segregationist. There's not the same communication as you have when you're actually sitting, looking at somebody, or talking to them, or standing next to them, or dancing with them, whatever you're doing. It's a whole different ballgame. It's too separatist for me. I like things to be, right there.
Yeah,
people present.
Yeah, I agree. I've been looking at your amazing body of work and trying to pick out some bits that we could talk about, but there's so many. But I want to mention the fact you were once in Panto with Frankie Howard. That must have been fun.
Oh, at the Palladium, yeah, dear old Frankie. What a character!
Yeah,
he just about got on stage on time during the matinees. He did look as if he'd just fallen out of bed, but he was very funny.
Yeah, I can imagine. I was looking at this amazing body of work you had with my partner, and the one thing she picked out, nothing that anyone else would, was the fact you were in her favourite TV show, Doctors.
That's right, yeah. I played a character called Peter, I think, a few years ago. Yeah, it was a nice part. I was sorry I couldn't continue, actually. I was offered another leading role in it about a month later, but unfortunately by then I was doing a tour or something and I couldn't do it. I think it's a very good series, Doctors. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, it represents a lot of real life, doesn't it? You know, a lot of good stories are actual.
Yeah, and a lot of people can empathise with the fact you've got to go to the doctors.
Absolutely. More than ever today, I think, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's been amazing talking to you today, Mark. The show, like I said, is coming to the region from the 14th and 19th of October. Why should people come down? You've told us a few reasons, but in a nutshell, why should people come down?
Well, the show definitely has a feel-good factor. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's uplifting, and I think in the state of the world today, you know, there's so much unrest everywhere. People want, if they're going to spend money coming to see a show, they want to know their money is well spent. And they want to come out feeling good. And certainly, I've never met anybody that's been to see this show who doesn't come out saying, "Oh, I feel so great having seen this show. I've got to come and see it again." Mm-hmm. You know, it's fun. It's fun. It's a witty script.
Yeah.
It has real characters. It has, at the heart, as all good musicals, it has a love story between. It has two love stories actually, and that's essential in a musical. You know, so people warm to that and they have an identification with it as well. Let's face it, all of us want to be loved by somebody in life. And I think the show overall, as a package, it just has some magic ingredients.
Yeah, well, I look forward to seeing it again. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Okay, thanks, Terry.
Brilliant stuff.
See you there.
Yeah, you will do.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye, mate.